and welcome. Today we will be discussing Project 5, the proposal, which serves as your final exam for this course. As always, we begin with learning objectives, what you should be reading, outside resources which could prove useful, and prior student work samples. Let's dive right into the assignment expectations. Again, this assignment is going to count for your final exam in this course, so be sure you turn in your very best work so that you can get the best possible grade. Your task here is to create a proposal for some change that you'd like to see, whether that's your workplace, your school, your community. It should be something concrete, something that you can make the plan, execute the plan, and actually have it happen. While ending world hunger or stopping racism might be a laudable goal, it is not within the scope of this assignment. This is for something that you can physically and permanently or semi-permanently change. Something like adding streetlights to an area where there are none, or putting in a dog park in your apartment complex, or filling potholes on a certain part of the street with a new material that prevents them from forming again. These are things that you're going to be trying to make those changes. I've seen several as well that were processes and plans for things in the workplace, but again, it needs to be something concrete and measurable. This proposal needs to have several things in order to fulfill all of its points. First, you need to have a cover page that includes at least one image. It should have the title of the proposal. It should say prepared by with your own name, and it should have your contact information. You need to also include a table of contents which has both headers and subheaders. Make sure that you have a summary of what the change is. Right now we do A and I think we should do B, or right now we have A situation and I think we should have B situation, or right now we have A problem and we need B solution. Make sure that you talk about how your change is going to fix it. Will it make life better for the community? Will it cease causing damage to people's cars? Will it make the park safer? Will it provide increased property values? What is the outcome if your change is put into effect? Then I need a detailed description of the change, how the community will look, how it will happen, what will be the overall end result. I need a timeline for implementation, and again, keep this reasonable. If you say that we're going to build a brand new dog park in an area where none exists, that's not something that's going to happen in a week. It might take a few months or maybe longer. You'd have to do the research and figure that part out. You need to also include a summary of equipment or supplies that you'll need. Do you need new equipment for the people who will be using it? Do you need new equipment to enact your change or make it happen? What's going to be needed in order to make this the most successful process? You need to also include a proposed budget. How much is it going to cost folks to do this? And I would highly suggest that you include more than one option. As a matter of fact, when you get to the request for approval, you need to have multiple options to choose from. If you look at the prior work samples, you'll see an example of a request for approval there. But one of the things that you need to note is do not put an answer for no on your request for approval. If you are requesting someone to buy either package A, B, or C, don't give them an option D of no. If they don't want your service or your project, they will simply not respond. Your different package levels should include different things. Perhaps if you're doing streetlights, for example, one is with LED bulbs and one is with solar power, and they have different options so that it gives them something to consider and more investment in the project itself. Finally, if you do have to research any information or look things up, you need to include a references page. Be sure to keep this clear, but also concise. This is not something where you're going to have 14 pages of argumentative essay to explain what it is you're trying to change. Make sure that you're thorough. Include enough facts and statistics and images and maps to make sure that people understand exactly what you're trying to propose and get to a good decision-making point on that. If your process is overly brief, if it just says we need a dog park and we need 2 barrels with the ends cut off for the dogs to run through, and that's all you have, you're not going to get the grade you're hoping for. Again, if you're pulling any sort of statistical information or any sort of price points, things like that, you may want to include that on your references of where you found that information. Now, one thing I will caution you is that sometimes if you don't work in the arena of fixing streetlights or filling potholes, it can be sort of difficult to find those costs. Just take your best estimate and your best guess based on what information you can find, and we will assume that if this were really going forward, that you would have found better resources to find the full information of the actual to the penny cost. A good estimate is fine for this project. Keep in mind that a good estimate is not $5 for a brand new light pole. It's also not $50,000 for a brand new light pole. Keep it reasonable, keep it logical. Make sure you include as many images as you need to make it look good. It should have all of the information that one might need to decide to take on your project and to choose you as the project provider. As always, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me, and best of luck on your work.